What is up, everybody? We're calling all angels here. We have yet another week of NWSL soccer to go over, and we have 8 matches to go through. That's going to come through in a separate recording. This one is going to go up first because it is Wednesday, and we got Wednesday match previews, so I'm prioritizing that one with the recaps of the other 8 games from the previous week coming up here a little later. It'll probably go up around, I'll probably time it out around 3. So that way everything is up and running. Also, if you do happen to do the recaps and the previews together in the podcast variation, I will upload a combined version soon enough. For now, let's focus on what we got, and that is the previews. Got 3 matches in the midweek to go over. Let's talk about them. First, the matches today: Orlando, Boston, Gotham, and Washington. 2 very different situations here. On one side, you have the Orlando-Boston game. Boston's currently in the lower quarter of the league, pretty distant from everybody. However, still in a position where they might be able to escape that bottom 4, which, and at the very least, avoid the wooden spoon position, 16th place. So they're trying to earn the points they can, improve. They're improving over the course of this inaugural season. Whereas with Orlando, you have a team who is very limited offensively, is trying to establish that they belong as a playoff team. They currently sit in the 8th spot, but are clinging to it, and technically don't control their own destiny. Because at the current moment, Angel City FC, sitting in 9th place, has a game in hand that would put them ahead should Angel City win. So Orlando needs to continue winning to maintain their pace. Playing at home should give them an advantage. That said, I have looked at the way things have gone with Boston. Boston has looked pretty solid here since coming back from break, and honestly, before the previous break had ended. I've been really satisfied in watching Boston in action. It's been a good experience here. I do suspect they will have a little more difficulty in Orlando, so I'm going to say they actually keep up pretty well. I'm going to say it's a 2-1. That said, Boston is very much more capable of getting a second goal than Orlando is capable of getting a third, I believe. So, it's possible both occur, and this game ends up like 3-2 or something like that. But I also think 2-2 is very, very possible. But I do see Orlando facing a lower team. Banda back in the match. That should be enough. That should be enough to get them where they need to be. But we shall see. The second match is the one that's more interesting. Also, I have a very rare Wednesday completely clear. So, I found our free match that we're making up this week. Remember, the week we came back, I was not able to do one. It has certainly been derailing not being able to live NWSL for a bit. So, we will have multiple this week. I am back and ready for action here with an ESPN broadcast of Gotham versus Washington. That's what we will tune in for today. I'm looking forward to that one. Plus, we'll be able to talk a little bit about the pending World Cup final. But yeah, this one is of note because both Gotham and Washington have only played 13 matches. So Washington has 2 matches in hand on first place San Diego and could potentially end up, they're sitting at 27 at the moment, so they could get as high as 5 points above the current leader, San Diego. Gotham, sitting at 24 points and 2 matches in hand, could get themselves as high as 30, also ahead of all the leaders at the moment. So, both teams in a very important position here where they need to make a statement. Washington has definitely played better, but Gotham has played very well at home, and this one's a special matchup because it's being held at Citi Field. That is the stadium of the New York Mets. The Mets are currently on All-Star break, and so they've gotten the opportunity to use use the baseball diamond as their location to play. And it's kind of an important moment for Gotham to perform in front of the crowd in Queens because their official stadium, the one that they and New York City FC are going to share together, is currently under construction next door to Citi Field. So this is kind of a flag planting game where you are trying to show off your importance to this community and develop a budding interest just in time to join in. Gotham has struggled historically with maintaining a large audience. They were near the bottom for years, and even with the recent success and with a much higher support base, they still are currently the worst attendance outside of the bottom four. So, like, literally, if your team plays in 12th place or higher in the standings, New York is showing the worst. New York and New Jersey is showing the worst support in terms of raw numbers, where Gotham is only pulling in around, I believe, 8,000. So this is a chance to really establish yourself as you getting ready to play in a proper New York location rather than across the bay at Red Bull Arena. Overall, now as for this match itself, Washington has certainly played hot, but I do think Gotham plays a lot more motivated at home, especially in these big matches. They, at the very least, score a goal and they fight to try to get points stolen. And that's where I think this is going to end up. I'm going to say Gotham pulls a 1-1 draw out of this. The two teams split the points, which I'm sure will be disappointing to all the Spirit fans who are hoping to take complete control of first place here. But they still technically would, because the two teams would be even on points, with Washington holding a game in hand, so point percentage would give them the tiebreaker. Nonetheless, also a good moment for Gotham there. They get their 25th point, continue their climb up the standings, and yeah, should be a fun match. I'm very excited for this one. I think we got some top contenders here going at it. And then last of all, on Friday we have Kansas City, San Diego. Another matchup of upper-level teams. San Diego currently holding first place, and Kansas City in basically the same spot as Gotham, except having one additional game played. So Kansas City has been really dangerous at home, and while San Diego hasn't looked bad, it was proven that they can be shut down. So what I'm going to go with, I'm going to say KC actually pulls a 2-0 victory out of this, and some unease might set in with the Wave here if Kansas City Current actually pull it out here. But just looking at the guts of it, it feels like the teams in that top 7 are really like clashing against each other and knocking each other down. So it makes sense to me that the higher teams are having points stolen early on. And so, yeah, I think San Diego comes away pointless, and Washington and Gotham have to each settle for 1. What is interesting, though, looking at the KC San Diego situation there, is even at the 1 point or whether it's 3-0, you're creating a very awkward logjam, whereas these teams start beating each other and forcing draws with each other. You're seeing the points go up a lot slower, which is going to allow teams in the lower tier to catch up if they can get hot. We've talked about Angel City in 9th place making a surge. Orlando, if they could string some wins together, also very much in that position. You've got Denver, who's been playing reasonably well. I would probably say that's it for the teams on the outside who might be able to make this into something interesting. But nonetheless, that gives you 10 solid teams early on. But I think we've talked enough about the 3 previews. That is Kansas City and San Diego's match for the week, whereas the ones playing Wednesday will also have a match this weekend. So we'll talk a little bit more about those on most likely Friday. I'll recap the Wednesday games tomorrow, and you can expect the game recaps of the previous weekend here in the coming hours. But that's all for now. Enjoy your football, Enjoy the World Cup semifinals, and go Angels!